1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Live from the ABC 7 Broadcast Center, this is ABC 7 News at 11 on your side.
And up first at 11, finally a breather from an exhausting winter, and there may be more snowflakes on the way. Doug's going to have more on that here in just a bit. But first, an icy mess causes some big power problems. Downed trees and power lines left thousands in the dark for most of today, and many may not be getting power back on until tomorrow. But for right now, more than 20,000 customers still don't have power.
And tonight, this latest storm has led to frustration and anger from those trying to clean up. Jay Korf live in Frederick, one of the area's hardest hit. Jay?
Well, this is the scene all over this neighborhood in Frederick, Maryland. Trees down in front of homes and buildings that don't have power. The howls of winter echoed Wednesday throughout Frederick, Maryland, a city now littered with tree limbs. Thousands remain without electricity or heat after branches coated with ice toppled onto power lines following an overnight ice storm. Rick Kenyon is heading off to work just to take a shower. When he returns, he'll have to contemplate the damage to his roof.
And then the tree across the street here fell down and blocked the road. And then another tree at the neighbor's house fell on my house. I don't think it did any damage, but we'll have to see.
Potomac Electric officials say power outages are so widespread in the region that the utility company right now cannot provide restoration estimates. They will only say residents should prepare to be without power for days.
We've been pretty lucky. This is the first time living in Frederick for the last 10 years that we've had a major outage, so we're dealing with it.
Tim Daniel invited his neighbor Ed Hind over for dinner and some good conversation, surrounded by as many candles as he could find.
I don't recall having a ice storm like this. My next door neighbor, who's lived here all his life, said this afternoon when we were kind of comparing notes that this is the worst he's ever seen it.
Now the worry is the wind. Strong gusts are expected to plague the area, sending even more trees to the ground. Utility officials tell me the power outage situation is so widespread in this part of Maryland, they're seeking help from out-of-state crews who are en route as we speak. Live in Frederick, Maryland, Jay Korf, ABC 7 News.
Okay, Jay, thank you. Well, a much calmer evening compared to the morning rush hour. But what can we expect tomorrow morning? ABC 7 Chief Meteorologist Doug Hill joins us with his first look at the weather. Hi, Doug.
Hi there. Outside of the areas affected by the heavy ice, Allison, most areas should get off to a fine start tomorrow morning. We're still above freezing here outside the Belford Furniture Weather Center at 33, but it will get colder overnight. It's already gotten colder to the north, so the places like Union Bridge in Carroll County at 28 degrees, 28 in Middletown and Frederick County. They have a wind gust there at 42 miles per hour, 39 mile per hour gust in Union Bridge, Martinsburg, Hagerstown, 34 mile per hour gust. And it's been gusty all night and will continue gusty for several more hours in the overnight as well. 41 mile per hour gust in Tacoma Park. But in these local areas, we don't have the ice on the trees. In fact, the air is drying out and the grounds are drying out locally. 30 right now in Laurel, 29 in Frederick, 30 in Fairfax, 31 right now in downtown Washington. So when you wake up tomorrow morning, breezy and cold. It'll feel like it's in the teens, even though temperatures in the 20s. Gusty winds tonight, maybe some weekend snow, but remaining cold. We'll fill in all those headline details coming up in just a couple of minutes, Allison.
Okay, Doug, thank you so much. Well, we are following some developing news out of Fairfax County tonight where the community is dealing with a tragic loss. 2 students died within days of each other this week. Both attended Langley High School. Both were just 17 years old. Tom Rousey is live tonight in McLean with the story. Tom?
Allison, a lot of folks around here taking this very hard. You know, Langley High School is used to being in the news for good reasons. U.S. News ranked it one of the top 100 high schools in the country. But tonight, the Langley community is reeling after losing those 2 students in just 2 days.
It just hit me like a brick.
This former Langley High student graduated last year and knew both students who died this week.
Honestly, they were great kids. They had everything going for them. They were smart as hell.
The 2 17-year-old students were found dead barely 24 hours apart. Fairfax County police say the first teen was found Monday afternoon at Scotts Run Nature Reserve in McLean. The second was found Tuesday at a home on Forestville Drive in Great Falls. Police are not saying there's any connection between the 2 deaths. In both, they haven't released a cause but do not suspect foul play. Tonight, a number of people gathered at McLean Bible Church to remember the students who died. The deaths have left the tight-knit Langley High community in shock.
I'm so sorry. I feel so bad for the families, and it's terrible. It's a terrible thing. It was difficult. I did check in with the principal today.
Fairfax County School Board member Janie Strauss, whose district includes Langley, says the Langley community is taking this hard and the district is making help available.
Our hearts go out to the families, and we stand ready to help the families in the school community in any way that we can.
Some here in the community say this really should serve as a wake-up call here at the school as far as how students treat each other. One mother says despite the great reputation here, there are problems beneath the surface. In her words, she says, when you have 2 students die in just 2 days, you've got a real problem here. Live tonight at Langley High School, I'm Tom Rousey, ABC 7 News.
Thank you, Tom. Now, ABC 7 gets some answers from D.C. Fire Chief Kenneth Ellerby tonight in the wake of that controversial death of an elderly man who had a heart attack and died just steps away from a D.C. firehouse. Ellerby talks with us as the family of Cecil Mills prepares a possible lawsuit against the district after Mills' family says that no one tried to save his life, despite their pleas for help. New at 11, Roz Plater live outside the Reeves Center with every new development in the story. Roz.
Leon, the fire chief still isn't talking about the specifics of this case, but he says now that the initial reports have been turned in and they have interviewed everybody involved, he believes the investigation's at a point where he can finally break his silence. Under fire for 10 days in a case that made national headlines, D.C.'s fire chief has been MIA until now. He tells ABC 7 he didn't want to speak until the initial phase of the investigation was over.
Well, this is a disciplinary matter, quite possibly. And I don't want anyone to say that I had any undue influence over the disciplinary process, particularly if I'm taking action at the end of it.
77-year-old Cecil Mills collapsed of a heart attack right across the street from a fire station. And despite repeated pleas from his family and bystanders, no one from that fire station would come to help, telling them instead they had to call 911. Then an ambulance was dispatched to the wrong quadrant of the city, 26 blocks away. Mills died. He had worked for the city for 47 years.
I knew Mr. Mills.
Ellerby says that's another reason he was reluctant to talk. Mills' death hit a bit too close to home.
Mr. Mills was a member of a fraternal organization that I belonged to. He was a leader in that organization. He was somebody I would see frequently. Talked about his granddaughter and the fact that she was going to be dancing at the Kennedy Center, among other things.
He says he's already expressed his condolences to the family, and he will see the investigation through.
This incident is one that I consider to be regretful. I will tell you that. And it's one that we won't run away from. It's one that we will deal with and we will hold people accountable for.
We should learn more about the family's plans at a news conference they've scheduled for 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, along with their attorneys. We do know they have been looking at some measure that they can assure that this does not happen to another family. We're live in Northwest D.C. I'm Roz Plater, ABC 7 News.
Roz, thank you. And happening now in Northwest Washington, police are investigating a person hit by a train at the DuPont Circle Metro station. Metro officials tell us the person hit is a 36-year-old man. He is in serious condition tonight, but they don't believe that his injuries are life-threatening. It's not clear if the man was on the tracks intentionally. The station was closed for a time, but has since reopened, and service has returned to normal.
A Fairfax County public school worker faces child sex charges tonight. 24-year-old Patrick Whites worked in the computer lab at Glen Forest Elementary School in Falls Church. Police have charged him with attempting to take indecent liberties with children under the age of 15. Investigators say that he trolled the internet trying to lure children.
Definitely worries me. I mean, I'm always already worried about my kids, but when you hear something specific like that, it's just makes you really worried.
Whites is free on bond tonight, and we don't know if he succeeded in luring any children, but police urge any victims there may be out there to come forward.
Well, a possible break in the case involving a missing police reservist. Virginia State Police announced it arrested 3 people in connection with the theft of Kevin Quick's SUV. Now, the arrests were made last night at a hotel in Alexandria. Mercedes Shelton and Daniel Shelton charged with grand larceny. Shantae Shelton was arrested on an outstanding warrant. The search continues for Quick. Our sister station in Richmond spoke with Captain Quick's brother about the case this evening.
So that was our hope, was that he would be in the car. We're still hoping that he's still, with somebody or somewhere. But you can't help to think the worst in a case like this.
Police increased the reward to $30,000. Leon.
More than 200 job cuts are on the way for Howard University. The university tells us that the staff positions will be eliminated over the next several months. The cuts are part of a plan to address quality and efficiency. A spokesperson would not tell us which positions will be cut, but did say that changes will not impact public safety. Howard's faced problems with its finances over the past few years, including a downgrading of its credit rating back in 2013.
Well, CVS is about to snuff out tobacco sales at its stores nationwide. The pharmacy chain says it will stop selling cigarettes and other tobacco products to shift its focus toward being more of a health care provider. The move means CVS will give up approximately $2 billion a year in overall sales.
One of the biggest fast food franchises in the world is making a change.
The additive that raised a red flag about a bread recipe.
And just days away from the opening ceremonies, a terror alert for Sochi. Why security experts are taking a close look at toothpaste now.
And Beatles fans, prepare yourself. There's a major celebration planned to commemorate the band's first concert in the U.S. We'll have all the details coming up next.
You're watching ABC 7 News at 11 on your side.
We are 2 days away from the opening of the Olympics, and tonight there's a warning about traveling to Russia. The Homeland Security Department says that terrorists may use tubes of toothpaste to smuggle explosives onto airliners. That threat was passed on to airlines with direct flights to Russia, including some originating here in the U.S. This is the latest in a string of problems for the Winter Olympics. Many members of the media are arriving this week to hotels that are unfinished and tap water that's discolored and unsafe.
To have dozens and dozens of rooms not ready for journalists or whoever. It's just absolutely an embarrassment.
There's also trouble with the slope-style snowboarding course. Officials are scrambling now to adjust it after several athletes got hurt.
Well, a food blogger and health activist is leading to changes at the world's largest fast food chain. Tonight, Subway announced it will remove a chemical from its bread used as a dough conditioner. Vani Hari says that this same chemical is used to increase elasticity in everything from yoga mats to shoe rubber. Subway says the ingredient is USDA and FDA approved, but it will remove it anyway. The additive is banned in the UK, Europe, and Australia.
Who knew bread had conditioners? Because that gives it added bounce and shine.
Yeah, right.
All right, well, new at 11 now. Our area is gearing up to commemorate the 50th anniversary of music history, which happened right here. Next week, a celebration will be held at the Washington Coliseum. That's the place where the Beatles performed their first concert in America. Tonight, we get Tommy McFly's take on an upcoming celebration with a man who had an important role in that first concert.
The sound was louder than anything you'd ever heard, and everybody that was more than 10 rows back only heard the screaming.
It was 1964, and the Fab Four had begun their invasion, starting in Northeast D.C. 50 years later, the now decrepit Uline Arena will rock one last time.
It gathers magnitude each decade.
Mike Mitchell was an 18-year-old photographer just feet away from the Beatles on that iconic night.
Yeah, it was tremendously exciting. You know, the Beatles plucked heartstrings for everybody, not just girls. I mean, their music went deeper than what your gender was. You know, it was big stuff.
His rarely seen images will be on display this weekend, leading up to an anniversary benefit concert at Uline.
This thing was alive, it died. We're in a state of pre-resurrection. You know, this is before the Phoenix rises, and the Phoenix will rise as a result of the development.
Most recently, the Coliseum was
a trash repository, which left the building in the shape that it's in today. These seats are some of the last pieces that remind us what a treasure the Coliseum used to be.
This weekend's Mike Mitchell photo exhibit, then tribute concert on the 11th, truly is the end of an era, as redevelopment construction starts on the 12th.
There will be an office building, and of course the actual arena space, which is open air at this point, will be leveled off with different floors. And it's really kind of the last hurrah for the Uline Arena.
In Northeast, Tommy McFly, ABC 7 News.
Now, Mike Mitchell was gracious enough to share his photos with us for this story. And if you want to see a gallery of more photos from the night of the concert, you can log on to our website at WJLA.com. Now, if you have a story idea for Tommy McFly and want to get his take on something, just send us your idea by logging on to WJLA.com, and we'll check it out for you.
All right.
All right, now, country fans, there is a CMA Award winner coming to town here at ABC 7's getting you in for free. Jason Aldean. He's playing Nats Park on July 25th.
So to win 2 tickets, all you got to do is go to WJLA.com/Facebook and enter there. You can enter until Monday, February 17th at 6 a.m. and we will announce the winner on Good Morning Washington. So good luck, everybody.
Yeah, we might be thawed out by then.
Yeah, doubtful at this point.
Not at this rate.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be playing on cold weather for a couple more weeks at least,
okay.
You know, and maybe a little more snow on Saturday. We'll tackle that at the wall in a minute. Let's get started, though. I want to pass along a photograph. Sue Metzger lives in Frederick sent. Now, look carefully in Frederick. She sent this to us. You see that red car? Well, under the car is the root ball of a big tree you see there that was pulled up. So that damaged the red car, and then the tree came up and fell over and hit the other car and damaged that. Both are Sue's cars. That's from the winds in combination, and we're still going to have high winds. And Adam Kask and I were just talking, and probably tomorrow morning we're going to see more photographs like this as the gusty winds on the ice-laden trees up there continue to be an issue overnight. So it's going to be tough just a while longer. Now we're going to have some winds here, but they're actually going to dry things out for us. A definite chill in the air, but no problems at all compared to our friends watching us just to the north. 39 and 33 the high and low today. A third of an inch of rain. 45 and 29 are the averages. Cleared out late in the afternoon, and now many areas still above freezing, and that's good. It'll dry the roadways, dry everything up, but it holds on to much colder temperatures to the north and west. During the evening, the colder air will arrive thanks to the persistent northwesterly winds. It's already producing wind chills in the teens north and west of the metro area. Feels like 18 in Dulles, 21 in Gaithersburg, feels like 25 now in the nation's capital. Now the winds, those are strong. We've had sustained winds here in the past hour or so, up to 24 miles per hour in Martinsburg, 21 in Hagerstown, northwesterly direction, 21 at Dulles. That's definitely putting the chill in the air and rattling the heavy trees with the ice up north. That flow continues, but these really bitterly cold air temperatures, you see 11 below in Rapid City, 3 below in Minneapolis right now. That air modifies as it comes south and east, so we're not talking about highs in the teens or 20s. We're talking about highs in the 30s for the next few days, but the next few days will be partly cloudy and actually, all things considered, pretty pleasant. But it will be high pressure moving in, and as the high pressure moves in, we'll get the dry weather and the chilly weather. But it will change here as the high pressure moves out as we head into the weekend. I'll give you a little idea of what lies ahead a bit. Way out west, I'll move out of the way. There's an upper level disturbance right now over the Pacific. That is the one that's going to track across the country and move along the Gulf, north of it, and up the East Coast. The problem is, don't know what exact effects it will have. Now, you may remember we've been deluged over the past 12, 13 days by stories of blizzards this weekend. I think we may see a little bit of snow this weekend, and that's about it. But a nice day tomorrow. We'll get in the 30s. Then as we go through the next 7 days, there you see we'll put a 30% chance of light snow. Minor accumulation, sure. Major snowstorm, 40 inches of snow as some of the bloggers were reporting. No, I don't think so. That's it. So it'll stay cold, though. I know that for sure. Jackie and Eileen in the morning. And Good Morning Washington will get you up to date for your Thursday morning commute.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right. Good deal. Good deal indeed. How about Virginia playing some basketball? Hey, Virginia fans are loving the Who's right now. GW and Mason hit the hardwood. The Super Bowl parade was super. And the Wizards and Spurs work overtime in the phone booth. Wait till you see what John Wall did tonight. And it's coming up next in sports.
John comes up.
And now the Toyota Sports Desk, brought to you by your local Toyota dealers.
Well, this has been one heck of a stretch for the Wizards. They beat the Thunder, then beat the Trailblazers, and they had the San Antonio Spurs on the schedule for tonight. Well, those are the top three teams in the Western Conference. Let me take you back downtown. We'll pick it up in the overtime. Big old Tim Duncan doing what he does best. How about this? Backs his way in, turns, fires, bottoms. 113-107 Spurs, 47 seconds left in the game, in the overtime. Over, right? Wrong. John Wall went on a tear. The All-Star with a reverse up and under, 115-113. Now watch this. Play of the game. Wall with the great anticipation, the steal. Go ahead and beat the clock. Tie game. Wall with 6 points in 45 seconds. The game went into double overtime. Tim Duncan fouled out. But look at this. Boris Diaw over to Danny Green. 3-ball splash. The Spurs beat the Wizards in double overtime, 125-118. All right, let's go to college basketball. The George Washington Colonials continue to be a big story. They are undefeated at home this season, 18-4 overall, 6-2 in the A-10. And tonight, GW beat Duquesne handily, 71-57. Let me take you down to Charlottesville. Boston College at 20th-ranked Virginia, and another huge night from Malcolm Brogdon. He led the Hoos with 17, career-high 11 rebounds, 7 assists, 77-67 the final. Virginia now 9-1 in the ACC for the first time since 1982. Let me take you over to Fairfax. Dayton took George Mason behind the woodshed, spanked him. George Seibert, he hit 8 of his 11 shots, led the Flyers with 19. The Patriots are 0-8 in their first season in the A-10. The final there, 84-67 Dayton. Seibert, the transfer from Ohio State. The Super Bowl celebration continues throughout the great Northwest, and that party may never end. I know the memories won't. Seattle fans turned out by the thousands to salute and cheer their Seahawks. Hundreds of thousands as the 12th man continued to live up to its reputation. And believe me, the players loved it. The parade started at the Space Needle, ended at the stadium. They chanted LOB, LOB for the Legion of Boom. I said earlier tonight, the price of a Super Bowl ticket was $2,000. This parade was priceless. Meanwhile, the first Wednesday in February, traditionally National Signing Day for high school football players, and the Maryland Terrapins got that guy right there. One of the best offensive tackles in the country, Damian Prince, recognized nationally as the top tackle. The Terps got 5 offensive linemen as they head to the Big Ten. And Maryland recruited only one quarterback, Will Ulmer from St. John's, and DeMatha High School had 20 athletes sign college scholarships today. Big day in high school sports.
Big haul.
Yeah.
Great.
All right, thanks, man. We'll be right back. Don't go away. A Minnesota family is taking its love of the Olympics and the snow to a whole new level. They built a luge track in their backyard. This family lives in Cologne. They say that their backyard turns into a big sledding hill in the winter, but there's a garden in the corner of the yard, and so to keep the kids out of it, the family created a small hill. That project then snowballed. Dana Schmieg tried to tell his kids that it's the one and only year for this track, but the kids put up such a fuss, this may become an annual event.
Oh yeah, there is no way this is the only year they're doing that.
You know it.
They're having way too much fun for that.
That's right. Keep that shovel handy, Dad. We'll have a final look at the forecast when we come back.
All right, what's the final word tonight?
Well, it's going to be windy. That's going to be a problem for the icy areas up north. Everybody else should just be breezy and cold. A couple nice days ahead with partly cloudy skies. A chance of some snow over the weekend, maybe some minor accumulations, but no indications of a major storm, and the remaining cold into next week.
Okay, Doug.
At least.
At least.
All right. Stay warm, folks. Jimmy Kimmel Live coming up next right here.
Have a great evening.
See you tomorrow.
Well, that's what you wanted, 10,000 you said yesterday.
So I
You got to get at the beep.
before midnight.
And hello again, everybody. This has been one heck of a stretch for the Wizards. They beat the Thunder, they beat the Trailblazers, and last night took on the San Antonio Spurs. Folks, those are the three top teams in the Western Conference. Let me take you back downtown. We'll pick it up in overtime. Big old Tim Duncan doing what he does best. Back in, jumper, bottoms. Look at that, 113 to 107 Spurs, 47 seconds left. Over, right? Wrong. John Wall, he went on a tear. They all start with a reverse, up and under. Look at this, 115 to 113. Wall then makes the play of the game. Great anticipation here with a steal. Now he's got to beat the clock. Tie game. Wall with 6 points in 45 seconds, and the game goes into double overtime. Tim Duncan fouled out, but Boris Diaw down on the baseline before he gets trapped over to Danny Green, the 3-ball and splash. The Spurs beat the Wizards, the final in double overtime, 125 to 118. There's a look at sports. Have a great day, everybody.